A lot of y'all are confused on what a biased hiring test actually means, so I'm going to break that down here. And I'm under no illusion that that's going to change anything for anybody who pretty openly says they don't care about equity, but I want to make it easy for y'all to get back to the original video. So a bias test doesn't mean that you're saying if somebody else doesn't get a high score, then they just don't have to work harder and that we just forget about it. That seems to be the impression of the last video, that you're like, well, if not everybody gets the same score, then like, what's the point? A bias test is not that. Actually, every test we want to be discriminatory. We want it to discriminate good versus bad performance. What we don't want it to do is to discriminate based on who you are and not what you can do. And as someone who's involved in test making, it is my responsibility to make a test that does just that. So for example, if I was designing a test for driving and everybody who passes my test who is right-handed is a good driver and has very low accident rates and gets from point A to B just fine, but the same is not true for people who have the same score who are left-handed, then I have a flawed test. I have a biased test because I have not created something that is able to discern performance across groups. Now in hiring, I'm usually using psychometric tests. A biased psychometric test is when a test predicts different performance levels for people with the same test score but in different groups. So at any given score, the test says one group will perform worse than another group, even when they actually perform the same. So if I include a cognitive test in my hiring system and it consistently underpredicts how well Black employees that we hire perform, then that's a biased test. It means we're likely turning people away who would do well. Our test is not assessing them well. Test isn't measuring a specific ability, it's measuring a bias. So in the first video, when I said Black women are being disproportionately fired and we should be concerned about this, I wasn't saying we should lower the bar. I was saying we should ask if our measuring stick is accurate. And in this case, it's not hiring, it's firing, but the same applies. Is the criteria we are using to fire fair? The uncomfortable truth is we often want to believe that our systems are fair and that it's an individual fault, because if it's a system problem, that means it can happen to us. But here's the thing, this is what I call a hierarchy scramble. It always comes back. Whatever behavior we accept for others, we are telling the people in power that we accept this behavior, and so it always rolls back on us. That's part of why we tip in the US for servers, because when Black people were out of slavery, employers didn't want to pay them, and people were okay with that, so they required them to work for tips. And then employers were like, wait, if I can have people work for me and I don't have to pay them, now none of you are getting paid. Now you can all keep tipping. So if you don't care about equity for others, don't expect anyone to give a shit when the equity impacts you, because it always comes back. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, you want to learn more, join my school linked in my bio. It's where I do all of my courses and I have weekly group coaching. If you want to ask me about your situation one-on-one, you can book some time on my calendar. The first 20 minutes are free and one-on-one coaching is available for purchase. But if you want to test the waters first, I recommend joining my Thursday call in my school community, where you can learn from other people, network, and ask me questions live. Leave a comment if you'd like to see a video about a particular topic or a course in my school.